Here at Hobbymaker, we want your shopping experience to be as simple as possible. That's why you can buy as many items as you like all day and only pay one postage and packaging fee. It doesn't matter what weight, size or quantity of your order or how many times you check out that day, you still will only be charged one P&P. Shopping made simple with Hobbymaker.
Hobbymaker are live from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day on Sky Channel 670,
Freesat Channel 807
and Freeview Channel 73. You can also watch on YouTube via some smart TVs, your computer and phone. Good morning, everybody. Hello. It is dead on 6 o'clock. I hope you're well. Oh, actually, dead on 6 o'clock is quite appropriate because we're Halloweening it this morning. Yes, absolutely brilliant. Great to have your company. Look who's with me. Hello.
Hiya.
Mandy's here. Good to see you.
So bright and early. I don't know about bright. It's definitely early.
We're here.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here and we're with you. Now, great to have your company. We do this every weekday, of course, Monday to Friday, between 6 and 8 a.m. Wake up to Hobbymaker. And of course, our normal hours are between 1 and 6 in the afternoon as well. And maybe, you know, one day we might be able to join them up. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
That'd be nice.
That would be very nice. Have to go all the way through. Now, Halloween in this country, it never used to be anything really big up until about, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, and it suddenly really took off. We're about a month away, aren't we, from Halloween itself? 31st of October.
Yeah, not far.
Yeah, and just talking to Ollie and Laura, our director and producer today, lots of people have like Halloween parties now and the kids get involved, trick-or-treating, that sort of thing.
I did, because when I was younger, we didn't do trick-or-treating. We weren't even allowed to go and knock on doors.
Weren't allowed to?
No, we weren't allowed to. So if Mum didn't give you something, you didn't get anything. But I know it's huge now. I mean, the kids come round, the adults come round dressed with them. It's such fun. We have a Halloween parade in our street. We have all the kids go round and we all stand outside with all our treats ready, you know, sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too. And my mother-in-law actually, a couple of years ago now, bought loads and loads and loads of sweets and treats and that sort of thing for the kids. And the doorbell didn't go at all. No
I've had weeks, I had years like that until we started the parade and everyone comes to the door now. I don't get to eat so much anymore.
They know you're generous, that's what it is. They know you're generous. Now, what we've got for you today, we've got a lovely mixture of Halloween products. We've got Sweet Dixie, Sue Dix, of course, who's the owner of Sweet Dixie. Wonderful dies at amazing prices. We've got a little bit of Debbie Moore as well. She's done a Halloween town kit for us. And also a bit of Tim Holtz. Now, we all know Tim Holtz, crafting royalty. We've got his stamps in the show as well. So a little bit of everything for everybody's pocket and everybody's budget. Now, it may well be that you couldn't sleep last night and you just kind of turning the TV on, you turn, channel hopping and you're thinking, oh, I haven't seen this before. We're Hobbymaker. We've been around for now, nearly 7 months now, in actual fact. And if you want to get involved and purchase something in the show, it's dead easy to do that. There's the free phone number down the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side there, 0800 001 4433. Now, very importantly, that is our call centre number, which is a UK-based call centre. They're in this very building where we are, just outside of Birmingham. So if you fancy making a purchase, just give them a call, tell them the item number you'd like, and they'll sort that for you. They'll get you an account. And also, we've got a great website too, which is hobbymaker.co.uk. Now, if you go there, www.hobbymaker.co.uk, you can actually watch us and watch back shows that you may have missed, maybe some of yesterday's shows. Now, everything on the show, under the banner where it says coming soon, you'll see everything that is in this show today. All the individuals, all the bundles. We've got some stencils, we've got some dies, we've got some archival inks from Ranger, of course. We've got some stencils and a card kit or two too. Now, everything is on there. You can see you can buy them now. Now, one thing I've got to let you know about, if you buy something off the website and we drop the price later in the show, you all pay the final low price. Because the way it works with us at Hobbymaker is that when you purchase something, it goes onto your account, and then at the end of the day at midnight, all your purchases through the day get collated, get put together. You get an email confirmation, but then you only get charged one P&P of $3.95. So it doesn't matter where you bought them from, whether you bought them from Sue Dix, whether you bought them from Ranger and Tim Holtz, whether you bought them from any of our guests throughout the day, all of your orders get put together and you get charged one postage of $3.95. And then, of course, the individual companies send out your products. So they'll probably come on different days and they won't obviously come in one box, but that's the way that we do things here at Hobbymaker, and it's working rather well.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're growing and
I
growing.
love that delivery thing.
Yeah, absolutely. 3.95 P&P.
I know, it's great.
Now, also, we do some special offers on a daily basis. Sometimes we have spotlights. But this morning, what we call our early bird deal is what we're going to kick off with this morning. Take a look at this. So our early bird, what could it be today? Well, we've actually got one of the Sweet Dixie die sets for you. Now, this is called Happy Haunting. And what you've got here are basically Halloween words that you can put onto your cards, in your scrapbooks, all that sort of thing as well. And you've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got 5 metal dies in here. Fantastic. Happy Haunting have a spooktacular Halloween, but they're all individual dies in really funky fonts. There's Sue Dix, by the way, if you wonder the face behind the actual company, she's lovely. And how she does her dies, Mandy, for this price is beyond me. I've got no idea.
They are such good value. The quality is amazing. You can use them in all sorts of different mediums, you know, so you can cut through your glitter card, through your foiled card, through your cardstock. But there's so many different things you can do with them. We can shadow them, we can do... And she thinks of everything you can do with them, everything you can use as well. And that's what I love about Sweet Dixie.
And actually this show, just so you know a little bit behind the scenes, Personal Impressions is a brand that is basically an umbrella company that looks after lots of great brands like Ranger, Debbie Moore, Sweet Dixie, and they're a huge, huge organisation. And they got in touch with us, and we got in touch with them, and they supply us now. So they've got actually an incredible collection of different crafting companies from around the world, haven't they?
They have. It's one of the biggest craft companies in the world, I believe. You know, it really is. We've got like 40,000 different products within our warehouses.
How many?
And we're 40,000.
Wow.
And it's like we're trying to bring you as many as possible. So if you go onto the Hobbymaker website, you will see under the brand Personal Impressions, you will see lots and lots of products being put on there continually now because we have such a vast array under that one umbrella.
Actually, that's a really good point because we actually have brand shops on our website. Now, that's the only time I've ever seen anything like that. So if you go to hobbymaker.co.uk and search for the brands, you'll see all the individual companies that we have, PI being one of them, Personal Impressions. And then if you click on that, everything that's in its stock and in its warehouses will come up for you. And you can order anything that is in stock at any time you like. So you don't have to just wait to see it on the TV. Now, if you want these words, Halloween, spooktacular, happy haunting, and also fantastic, we can do this for you at an incredible price. Wait until you see this deal. Here it comes. Look at this, £3, £3.99,
Wow.
$13.99.
An amazing price. It really is an amazing price.
I mean, Sue Dix dies are just incredible. Incredible value for money. They cut beautifully. They'll go through any die cutting machine at all. Even if you've got like the mini machines, they'll go through there, no trouble at all. They really do cut spectacularly. But think about where you're going to be putting this. Maybe you're going to be having a scrapbook. Maybe you're dressing up the kids this year. You know, Halloween, okay, yes, spooky and a bit scary, but also great, great fun. It brings communities together as well. The street can get involved. I mean, we've been through a couple of years not being able to do anything like that. So.
Absolutely fun. I mean, it's just using your imagination, isn't it? And I think Sue with these designs have given you a beautiful Halloween. They've got lacy, intricate details. We've got lots, and don't forget, they are cut in and embossing dies.
Yes.
So you can cut, you can emboss, you can do all sorts of different techniques with them.
Okay, now we've got this one, which is our early bird at £3.99, which is crazy. You know, they're not all on one die, they're all individual dies. And we've also got another set of words as well, which is this one. Now, this is actually being called All Hallows Eve. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to kind of bundle Halloween and firework night almost in the same...
Yes.
They're days apart, so you can kind of mix them together.
I know it's a few days between them, but I think we sort of just bung them all into one, don't we? Because it's an event, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And as I say, after the last couple of years, let's make this Halloween a bit special.
Oh, yes,
let's
please.
Make it special for the kids.
Yes,
Let's make it
let's have
special
fun.
for everyone. Now, here we are. These are the words you're going to get in All Hallows Eve. You get spooky, All Hallows Eve, obviously, October 31st, Hocus Pocus, R.I.P., Trick or Treat. That was a great film, Hocus Pocus.
Oh, it's one of my favourite films.
Is it?
It was one of my favourite. I love Bette Midler.
Yeah, me
So
too.
it's just
Yeah,
like
absolutely outrageous. Love
win-win.
it. So if you want the two together, well, I wonder where this price is going to go. Maybe it's going to go similarly to our early bird. I've got a feeling it might be around about that sort of price. All Hallows Eve, spooky October the 31st, Hocus Pocus, RIP, Trick or Treat, £4.49. And here at Hobbymaker, you may know this already, we combine letters and numbers with the product code. So it's AGPQ83 if you want this. And All Hallows Eve, I presume, is the 30th of October, is that right?
Do you know, I'm not really sure. I think it is because it goes into.
Like Christmas Eve is 24th.
Yeah, it goes into it,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I think. I'm not sure, mind you.
Oh, I'm not sure. No.
And I also could say the font on here, isn't it fun? The
Yeah.
font is just that. Woo.
It is absolutely brilliant. And if you put the two together, you can kind of mix up how you actually say a phrase or a statement or a sentiment or whatever it might be. And they work together so well because you've got that kind of random, kind of going in different direction letters. How cool is that? £4.49 for All Hallows Eve, spooky, 31st of October, Hocus Pocus, RIP, Trick or Treat. I mean, the Trick or Treat, you can maybe have, you know, you could put that on a bag if you're traveling around, or maybe you've got a bucket and that sort of thing where you go around collecting sweets or treats or whatever. Maybe you're going to go with the kids this year, knock on a few doors. And don't be like my grandmum and be disappointed, or my mother-in-law, sorry, and be disappointed that no one rings the bell. I think this year people are going to go for it. I think they're going to have a bit of fun and have a lot of giggles up and down the street. Okay, so those are the words, and they are just amazing value for money. Now, we've got a bundle for you as well. Now, words aside, I'll put those to one side for a second. Let me show you the first bundle. Now, this is a mixture of all sorts of things that you always associate with Halloween. We've got the skull. Now, the skull has become massively popular. It's not morbid. It's the skull in like Day of the Dead, for example, is like a celebration of life, isn't it?
It wasn't. It was this month, wasn't it, in Mexico?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
thing.
And that's become like a
Beautiful.
global thing now. So there is your skull die. You're also going to get your skeleton. Now, that also can be a lot of fun. I suppose because
So much you can do with that.
because these parts that the die actually cut out, they cut out individual parts. It's one die, but it cuts out all the individual bones. And if you've got some little small brads or something like that, you could have a bit of fun with those.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it moving. You could actually do it moving, couldn't you? And
Yeah,
have
they
some
could be
fun with
jointed.
some string pulls.
How cool is that? So you've got the skeleton. You've done that before. The skeleton with all the individual bits. You've got the pumpkin, but you can have a bow tie on, nothing else but a bow tie. And you've also got the witch's hat there as well. That's really, really lovely,
Have a little
really fun.
girl pumpkin with a bow on the head, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do.
You could pretty her up.
That would look cool. Then you've got, this one is your gravestone. So you've got the gravestone with RIP, also a skull. You've got the ravens there as well. I think they're ravens. So that's included. And then the last one, obviously, you can't have Halloween without the coffin. You can almost hear the organ playing in the background.
It's pretty though, isn't it?
It is,
I like
yeah.
it because it's not too morbid. You know, it's something you can do. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
And that as well, you may stencil through that as well as onto your backgrounds. There's a little bit of a stencil going on in the background. Beautiful.
Now, I've got the dies here, and I've got the die cuts. You've done some boards for us, so thank you for that. Again, you can really kind of jazz these up. You can colour them, put little gemstones for the eyes if you want to. So
Flowers on the head for the Day of the Dead and that sort of thing.
absolutely. And that's, as I said before, not morbid. It's a celebration of life, the Day of the Dead. So there's your skull, really detailed. There, I think you can have a lot of fun with the skeleton. MEPQ 95 for all of these dies. Look at the gravestone with the RIP on it as well. They are ravens, aren't they?
They are, and they've got that gravestone has got some beautiful debossing. It's got RIP in it. If you look at all the details in there, I hope you can see
Difficult
on
for
there.
the
but
camera
it's
to
got-
pick up, but you have got
beautiful
lots
details.
of etched detail in there. And then there is your coffin. Now, bearing in mind, you get 4 individual die sets. All of that, what would you expect to pay for that? 30, 40 pounds? £9.99 each? That wouldn't be bad.
Bad.
That's a good price.
A lot of metal there.
What about £4.12 for each die set? £4.12p for the coffin, £4.12p for the gravestone and the ravens and the skull, £4.12 for the skeleton. The skeleton's my favourite.
I got to admit, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Got a couple of little things we're doing with him. He's fun.
£16.49 for this bundle. By the way, we're loading everything that's on the show onto our website. So if there's just one or two things you want to cherry pick, maybe you want a spider's web, maybe you want a bat or two, or you like the skeleton on its own individually, they are all on the website right now. And remember, with us at Hobbymaker, it is always only one postage of £3.95 for the whole day. And we've got lots of great shows to look forward to throughout the day, through until 6 o'clock today. We're on till 8. Then, of course, Sewing Street and Jewellery Maker take over between 8 and 1. And then we're back between 1 and 6. And you've got another show this afternoon, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Okay. So long day for you and for me. But all of this for £16.49. Is that where we're going to start with our first demo, do you reckon?
We're going to start using a mixture of the stamps.
Okay.
The wordy dies, I think. We just have some fun. Something bright and cheerful.
Brilliant. Let's do it. Although
Halloween
it's
doesn't
Halloween,
have to be moody. It can be bright and cheerful
yeah,
as
it can
well.
be,
That's what
can
we're
be
gonna
bright and cheerful. Absolutely. And anything that Mandy uses in the show, you'll find on the website. So rest assured about that. What are you going to do first, Mandy?
So what we're going to do, I just want to show you how we're going to make a really quick background, okay? I've really pre-done it, but I want to show you, or talk you this bit through, okay? It's very hard to see on the screen. Now what I've done is I've got a piece of watercolour. We're doing a sort of a hanging panel. I just thought it was something nice to hang up for Halloween. So what I've done is I've actually used the Snarky Cat stamps from Tim Holtz, Sir Tim of Holtz, as we like to call him.
Sir Tim Holtz, yes.
And what I've done is I wanted some wordy backgrounds, but I didn't have a stencil in the show for that. So what I've actually done, if I just turn this over, I have taken all the words from the background and stuck them onto a large stamping block or your stamping platforms. And I've just put them all together in rows to create a background, so I get a wordy background.
Oh, okay.
And I've just used some Versamark then, and I've used some white embossing powder. I'll pick that up in a minute. I need that. I have to go downstairs and get it for you, thank you. So I've used white powder. The reason why, you could just use clear. I've used white because I will own up to this. If I look at my pad here, it's grubby. Oh. So when I did it down, it's come out a little bit grey. So I've used white. We can get around it, you see. Okay. I do have a new one, but I just couldn't find it. So we'll do it. So I've just done white. Now we're going to colour the background. Now I'm using some mixture of oxide inks and distress ink here. Okay. Yeah. And I'm just going to take, and let's just show you how easy it is to build up using your stamps and using your pads.
And are the distress inks and the oxides, they're on the
all on the website? Yep, on the PI section, yeah. Yep. We've got loads of choice on there for you. That's why I thought we'd bring them in, have a bit of fun with them, okay? So I'm just going to test my brush to make sure I picked up the right one. I have. Now, I normally, when I'm using my oxides and my distress inks, I like to use different brushes or different pads, because I don't like to put my oxides onto my other pads. But, you know, that's just maybe just me. I don't know, you know. So I'm using some Squeezed Lemonade. I'm using a Carved Pumpkin, because I love that colour, thinking it's autumn, isn't it? And it's Halloween. And I'm also using Candied Apple. I just thought they were very Halloween-y colours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just going to start off with my Squeezed Lemonade. And all we're going to do is, and you're going to see how this works now, is I'm just going to start blending on top of here, okay? Now, when I'm blending with my oxides, I like to really saturate the card, because I find these are so easy to blend once you've got that saturation, okay? So you want to get that sort of moisture on the card.
And the oxides give you that kind of chalky finish, don't they?
They do, because it's sort of a pigment and dye mix on these. So they're like I always say a quasi dye. So we're just going to do this, but look at these colours. Isn't that gorgeous? But we will see the white coming through as we add the colours in. So I'm just fading out that line there, okay? But it's all about building up your colours with your distresses, because you can have a very light finish or you can have a very rich finish as well. So that there is our Squeezed Lemonade for our first sort of coat. Then I'm going to use our Carved Pumpkin. I love this colour. It's one of my favourites. And I'm just going to start blending this on. And this is where you're going to start seeing more of how we created that background, just using the stamps and some embossing powder. Can you see it coming through now?
Yes.
Okay, so
we'll give you the details of the stamps in a second. Actually, they're on the screen right now. £23.99 from the one and the only Tim Holtz. I'll show them to you in more detail soon.
And that is actually a fantastic price for these. It really is.
It should be over £30, shouldn't it?
They should be. Yeah, but we've got a brilliant price for you on those.
These are rubber stamps, not polymer.
No. So these are long lasting. You'll be able to stamp into your embossing powder with them because they are red rubber.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just adding now, what I'm doing here is I'm taking my lightest colour and I'm blending across that line where it meets. And that's how you get a beautiful soft blend. And then if I bring in the candied apple, okay, I'm going to turn it because I'm going to start from this end. It's easier for me to blend by doing it from corner. So this part here now hasn't got the words on it. But what I'm doing, because I'm working on the watercolour card as well, I'm getting the texture from the watercolour card.
Yeah.
That's why I love working onto watercolour card. But this will work onto anything. If you do it onto a completely smooth card, it'll get a slightly different effect as well. Okay, so just adding that colour onto the bottom. And again, I then go with my lighter colour and I blend my lighter colour across then too.
That's the way to do it.
To blend it in, okay, just along there. So you're going to carry on doing that, all right? And then I got one here. You'll see it when it's finished, okay? Let's do our stamping first on this. So I'll show you the finished one then. So now I'm using the lovely, I love this. It's like, it could be, it's like a branch, but sometimes I use this lightning flash as well.
Yeah.
And this is from this Sketch Manor, the Tim Holtz Sketch Manor set. And we're just going to add a little bit of detail on here, simple as that. So I'm going to use my archival ink, my little mini ink pads here, and I am using the Grand Espresso. Here we go. So I'm just going to tap there. So I'm lightly tapping across the whole area, and then we're just going to add on a little bit of detail in the background. Okay. So I'm just tapping that in, and these are the distress archivals from Tim Holtz.
And we got those in the show as well. I see what you mean about lightning strikes. It could be, couldn't it?
It could be, couldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you get just the ends, there we go. But you can see that little bit of detail just on that bottom bit there. And what I'm also going to do then is I'm going to take my my ink here, and I'm going to use, if I have dropped that ink somewhere, I have lost an ink pad. Bear with me 2 seconds.
Did it fall on the floor?
It's fallen on the floor somewhere, yeah. So I'm going to use a slightly darker one than I was going to use. Okay. And I'm going to use this one. Never fear, we always get something. We always
Michael's
find something.
found it for you.
Oh, he's found it. Oh, lovely, I'll have that one instead. I didn't want it too dark, so I'm just using this vintage photo. Now, I've got glitter in mine. Can you see, if you can see it sparkling?
Oh, crikey.
That's because I use a foam that I'd use wax for. Don't do that.
It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere, yeah. I didn't wash it out properly. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of colour around the edge, all the way around, okay? So if I bring in this one here, this is the one we actually finished, okay? But look at that vibrancy and that colour there, okay? So I'll get myself organised in a minute. There we go. So I'm just adding just a little bit around. I didn't want to do black with this. I wanted to keep it all in dark browns, okay? So we're just going to go around there, and I'm just going to go onto the corners. Okay, then what we're going to do is I am going to show you, I've cut the owl from the Sweet Dixie dies, and we're going to just colour him up. I'm going to show you a really quick technique to colour him up, okay?
So everything that's Mandy's using in the demo will remind you of when we get to the end of it in a second.
So we're just doing our panel, there we go. But you can see now, just by adding that little bit in the corner, a little bit around the edge, it's really changed the mood of it.
Yeah.
Yeah? So just move those out of the way and see if I don't knock them off this time. So I'm going to just move that to one side. Now here's the owl. You can see now I've die cut the owl here, but I've left him in the cardstock. And what I've done is I put a little bit of tape on the back. My tape I put through, like the low tack, just to hold it in place while I'm doing it. Because what I find is it's quite hard, I'm going to roll my sleeves up for this now, it's quite hard to colour detailed pieces without damaging them. So if you leave it in the cardstock, it's a lot easier to colour, especially if you've got details on there, okay? So I'm just going to grab this. So I'm taking a new pad, it's okay. So I'm just using the vintage photo again, just for quickness here. And what you're going to do is I'm going to colour straight onto the cardstock. Okay. So this is how quick and easy it can be to colour by using these, okay.
So these archival inks you're using, where do they kind of fit into the scheme of things? Archival, I presume, is permanent.
It's permanent, yeah. So a carver is great because it can go over the top of your acrylic paints as well, onto your canvases.
Right.
It's great for doing your watercolouring onto. So it's all those sort of where you want a permanency.
Right.
And where you don't want. I wouldn't use the, you can use for some pens, but be careful, just test it and make sure it's dry before you do it. But these are very quick drying. I mean, this is the distress inks I'm using now, but Archival, I love them for all my mixed media work.
Okay.
Okay, so there you go. So just doing that. Then I'm going to get in a little bit of the black, she says here. You wouldn't believe I did have it all organised. I did have it all out in the right order.
It doesn't help when it all falls on the floor, does
Yeah, it does. Well, that's my fault, wasn't it, that it fell on the floor, yeah. So I'm actually an ink missing now. Somewhere. There he is. Wasn't missing at all, I just didn't see him. So now I'm going to use them just to cover up my bats. Okay. Pop that round there. But can you see? Just wanted to show you how you can pop them on. And then when you finish then, I'll just take my tape off. There you go. I mean, this is just a quick little tip, sort of thing. I mean, I expect everyone already does this, but I thought I'd just show. So you've got a little moon there, and all I'm doing now is I'm going to pop him out. Once you popped him out then, done all your colouring, you can add any of your highlights in, add a bit on your... I wanted to show you him taking how easy it is to get out there.
That is such an easier way to colour, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what? It's just I've damaged so many or ripped so many things out in the past that I just find that these, and then you take all the bits out then as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got ink everywhere now. Look, I'm not organised, as you know, Dave. I never have been, never will be. So here's the one I've done already. But can you see now? Isn't it? So that is just using a little bit black around the edges, a little bit black around my moon, just to give it that lovely feel.
That owl has got attitude. You see
He
it
has.
frown on his face.
Yes, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, exactly. So then what I've got is I've created a panel. Okay, it's just a hanging panel. I've re-threaded this to make it easier in a minute. So what we're going to do, we're going to add in our little panel on the back there. Okay, I'm going to glue that in. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my glue here. We'll reorganise that in a minute. It was so tidy when we came in, wasn't I? It's got it all ready. So I've literally just layered, this is a piece of chipboard. And I thought, oh, what can I use this for? So all I've done is layered that on. Okay, I'm just going to grab a piece of card, because I don't want inky fingerprints all over my piece, so I'm using a piece of card just to pop it down. There we go, okay. And then I've also done a piece that matches the bottom, and I've done it in reverse, so that the dark is at the top. Okay.
That looks really,
So,
really good.
Again, now I'm going to just take my ink pan.
And what were the colours? What were the colours again you used to get that lovely sunrise?
I've used squeezed lemonade, carved pumpkin, and then I've used candied apple. So all those sort of colours that you would have at Halloween. Just trying to see which one that's the right one. There you go. So I'm just popping that again around the corners. I'm going to be a little bit dark there. Let's blend that in a bit. There you go. I'm just going to take that around a little bit darker to match that bit in now, because I put a little bit dark there. It's never wrong, it's just in the way. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we've got our little panel there that we're going to put on the bottom. So again, I'm just going to gap that into there. There we go. Pop that there again. There you go. But I just thought it was something a little bit different to do. Nice catch.
Well caught. I'm impressed. Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm on one of those mornings, aren't I? So there we go. So we've got that so far there. Okay. I have got to, we will thread that through, but I don't have to do it now for you. And then what we're going to do is going to add our owl. Look at that. So look at the colours against that now. So I mean, you could put your foam pads on it. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and there, just to grab it down quickly. Okay.
And just to say, well, whatever you order will get to you in a matter of days. So you'll have plenty of time to make your Halloween posters or cards or whatever you want to do. Or maybe you could be decorating things like buckets if you're going around trick or treating. All the dies we've got on the show for you today are great to use for that, for decoration. You could even turn them into badges if you want to wear.
Oh, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? And then I've got the words. So we've got our Happy Halloween here, okay. So I'm just going to pop some glue on the back of my hand, okay. And I'm going to be really quick on this one now. I'm just going to turn it around, try not to get too much glue everywhere. Okay, and I'm just going to pop it. And that's why I love these little scripty ones, because they're just so sweet to use. There you go. Pop that onto there. Up, up, up. There you go. And then what I've also got on here is, I love this, I've got a little spider's web here. Look at this stamp. It's going to be pretty on little spider's web. So I thought we'd pop that on. I'm going to use the espresso again for my spider's web, just giving it lots of little taps there to cover it. I should have stamped this before I popped it down, but never mind. Okay, I'm just going to pop that just on there, and hopefully we can get that on. Oh, look.
Oh, yeah.
My little spider's web. And then maybe, I might have a little spider. See if I can get a second generation out of that. Nearly, just in the background, the shadow. But once we've tied that on, I'm not going to hold it up. I'm not going to do the ties, because I think we're going to get into another project then. But look at that. So that is using that wonderful die and your words together with the stamps as your background.
Love it. Now, let's have a look at those stamps that, that Mandy was using. Here we are. This is called the Snarly Cat?
Snarky.
Snarky Cat.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Snarly. Snarky Cat. Now, it looks like it's one big stamp, but in actual fact, it's a die-cut stamp. So if I just turn it around so you can see, all of those, they're in almost like a carrier sheet of rubber. And rubber, the difference between rubber and polymer stamps is that you can use rubber in any sense that you wish to. So if you're wanting to stamp into like hot products like UT or anything like that, you can't do that with polymer stamps. You can do that with red rubber stamps, and they've also got the foam mount on them as well. So straight onto an acrylic block or a stamping platform, and you're away. But you've got the Snarky Cat. He's like my cat, Maisie. Attitude, definitely a cat with attitude. Look at the positions he gets himself into, fantastic. And the pumpkins as well. But remember, the words that you saw on that demonstration with Mandy, these are the words that actually have been used here to make that background. And what it says, it's difficult to read, so I'll read it for you. Not only does my mind wander, sometimes it walks off completely. I can relate to that.
I know that one.
I know the voices aren't real, but they have some great ideas. People think I'm shy, but I really just have no interest. It's behind me, isn't it? Today was great until people. Candy, what candy? Happy Halloween. Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Where's that come from? I meant to behave, but there were too many other options. If I play dead, will you go away? Those are the words there. So they're really kind of quirky, very Tim Holtz, very, very Tim Holtz. But then you've got these wonderful images of the cat, you've got the witch's broom, the hats, the bats, all in red rubber. Now, these should be over £30. Today, yeah, they should be £31.99. We've got them for £23.99 for that fantastic set of Halloween stamps with the cat. And then, if you want the die that we were using in the demonstration, that's the owl die, which is here. Now, again, this is from Sweet Dixie, not Ranger. And Sue Dix, I don't know how she does it. The designs are great. The value for money is absolutely incredible. But there you've got your owl sat on the branch there, as you can see, with the moon in the background as well, and the bats in the trees too. And if you want to snip away the bat, I mean, that owl could be all year round, really. It's not just for Halloween.
No.
It's only the bat that makes it Halloweeny. And that is GAPQ18. And we're going to take this, and it's a big die. You can see the size of it. Look, huge. We're going to take this to under a £5. £4.99 for your owl on the branch. GAPQ18 is your product code. You can paper piece it, you can use your inks as we were showing you with Mandy a few minutes ago if you want to as well. And by the way, we've got the archival links in the show if you want those. And actually, we don't see those very often, to be honest. We will show you those in a second or so. But that's what we actually coloured the owl with, or what Mandy coloured the owl with. But look at that, the size of it is absolutely huge. And you can snip away those branch bits if you just want the owl on its own, die cut it, send it through the machine, snip off the excess that you're not necessarily wanting at the time. So a very, very practical die and a very versatile die as well. So there's your owl and the bats together. How does she do it for £4.99?
I don't know, because you're getting a lot of metal in there, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
And a lot of detail in there as well. Don't forget you can emboss it. That is amazing, just stencil through again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful, and embossing details are wonderful on that.
So GAPQ18, £4.99. Now, the archival inks, now this is something you don't see very often. I can't remember the last time I showed you archival inks from Ranger. These are the distress inks, but distress inks normally aren't archival, are they?
No, because normally they're quite a wet ink, you know, they're water reactive all the time, whereas these are your same colours, but in your permanent ink.
Permanent inks. So these are the colours that are perfect for Halloween. You've got your black soot, your ground espresso, your hickory smoke, that dark grey, and you've also got your vintage photo as well. So all of these are perfect for making something grungy, making something look a bit sinister, a bit dark, all of your rich, intense tones here. So the archival inks, if you've maybe got the your standard inks from Ranger and the distress inks, you've got those already, and you use them with your water and that sort of thing for water effects, then these are the permanent versions of those exact same colours. VM2861. Now these are quite a good size as well. They're a practical go anywhere size, but they're really juicy as well. They're going to last you a long time. And what can we do these for? £14.99 for all 4 of those archival colours, and they're iconic colours these as well, aren't they?
They're the really sort of neutral colours. These are colours you're going to use all the time when you're stamping.
£14.99, new to date. And remember, if you want to see the entire Ranger range, a lot of our suppliers actually carry Ranger, but we're talking about personal impressions this morning. So if you just go to our website and go to the brand section and then go to personal impressions, you'll see the Ranger inks, the distress inks, the oxides, you'll see everything there, and all the Tim Holtz products as well you'll find there too, including those stamps as well. VM2861. But remember, the multi-buy, if you've just woken up, it's just after 6:30, you may not have seen this. Now, this is the skull multi-buy that we've got for you. We're talking Halloween this morning. You've got the skull itself, which you can have fun decorating and adding jewels on and that sort of thing. My favourite has to be the skeleton. Look at the skeleton. Aren't they cool?
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And all the parts of the skeleton are separate. Although it's one die, it cuts the arm bones out separately, it cuts the hands separately, it cuts the ribs separately, so you can kind of piece it together yourself and have some fun with that. You've then got your gravestone with the RIP and the ravens and the smaller skull there as well. And then the last thing, of course, is the coffin there. Now, the whole lot, it's not each £16.49, the whole lot is £16.49. How does she do it? Sue Dixon, Sweet Dixie, brilliant value. MEPQ 95, MEPQ 95. And remember, to order is simple. You can either use our website, which lots of you are doing right now, hobbymaker.co.uk, or you can just use our free phone number. Free phone from a landline and also on a mobile as well. Have a chat to our call centre. The guys are there 24 hours a day, and it's in the building. It's a UK-based call centre. Just tell them you want MEFPQ 95, and they'll sort that for you and set an account up if you are a brand new customer. And we get lots of brand new customers every single day. Right. Let's go to demo, and you're going to use the skull next, yeah?
I'm going to use that lovely sugar skull. I think it's fabulous,
Yeah.
It really is. Because again, it can be creepy, it can be pretty. There's so many different ways you can use it. It really is. So what we're going to do first of all is, what I've done is I've making a nice square card, okay? And all I've done is you want to cut 2 squares, so whatever size card you're doing. And all I've done is I've cut them together. So I got the cardstock, and in my machine, it'll go through 2 pieces, okay?
Yeah.
Because we need an innie and an outie. You'll see why, because we're sandwiching something between it, okay?
All right.
All right.
Intrigued.
So what I've done is I've cut 2. So you can see now, you need 2 for this, and this is in the skull piece, but we're going to be using little pieces of that as well. But what I want to do first of all is we're going to, once you cut it out, we're going to do a bit of stamping on here. Just very, very quickly, just to show.
Okay.
So I'm using this gorgeous pumpkin stamp from the Snarky Cat. There's so many different things now you can do. And I'm using the carved pumpkin, but I'm just going to be embossing. I'm just thinking that I've picked up the wrong powder. I'm having a really good day, aren't I? But we're still going to stamp.
It's early.
I'm gonna
You let
stamp.
off.
Yeah. Normally I put clear powder on top of this because it's a pigment-based ink.
Right.
Then I can actually emboss with it as well.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is we're just creating a background. So you can still see the background. Here
Well,
we
doesn't
go.
that stand out on black card?
It's lovely, isn't it? It's because of that chalky finish to it. But so I wanted to glaze this, but I'll show you on the finished one, but at least we can still do it. Lucky I'm sampling this colour, not with clear ink, isn't it really? You wouldn't really get the effect, would you?
And Tim Holtz, I mean, he's renowned worldwide for his detail, his attention to detail, and the artwork is incredible, isn't it?
I love it, and it's always a little bit different. It's always a little bit of sort of characterful as well, you know, and that's what I love about these two sets. They work beautifully together. So you've got the sketch manner. I've got skeletons on my head, in my brain now. There you go. So we're just going to create a background, and all I would do is I would then paint in the detail. If I show you now, I have one finished, thankfully.
Okay.
So this is what I've done, okay. So all we've done is I've actually embossed this, a little bit of shyness. You still see the orange with the embossing pad, it's clear. And I've just used the same ink then to colour it with as well, paint it with.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of a damp brush, and then I've painted on detail. So that's the front of our card, okay. So so far we've got our two pieces, yeah. Then what I've also done is I've cut a skull in the white as well. All right. Mm-hmm. Next thing we're going to do is, this is where I come back to sandwiching. So I got a little piece of rice paper here, scrap of rice paper, or it could be tissue paper or vellum, anything like that. Yep. And all we're going to do is I'm going to attach this to the back of here, okay? So I'll give it a really, really quick. Normally I would use a tape for this because it's quite a delicate paper. Okay, but I want to put a little bit of glue around here so that it stays around the edge of my skull. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to glue that into place. Simple as that. And it is just a scrap. You don't need a piece this big, to be honest, but it's just a scrap I had, okay? So now we've got that in our hole. Yep, and eventually what happens is that will go onto the back, okay, the back of our card, so it sandwiches our detail together.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to add that to the back. So I'm going to go on here so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah.
I love your demos because I never know where you're going with with things. They're always different.
I think what it is, you look at the mess on my desk, you're thinking there's never going to be a project in that.
No.
I know, we've worked together for a long time now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to layer that up together. Yep. And it doesn't matter if I've got little gaps because there's a frame. I just want to show you how we created the front of our card. Okay. So you can see now we've got that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pop this into the centre. But first of all, I want a little bit of colour on this. Okay, so I'm just using a little bit of that black that was already left on here. Now, sometimes you've got ink left and it's dried for a while. Just breathe on it. I know it sounds silly, you get a little bit more ink out of you. I'm terrible. A little bit more ink. So I just huff on it.
Just the moisture in your breath.
Just huff on it, yeah. So just huff, and it just gets a little bit more moisture on there because I just want to make that more scully looking because I think it was too pretty as it was, yeah. And then we're going to add that into the centre. Okay, so I'm just going to do very quickly so you can see what I've done. So I'm just dotting in some areas, okay, just to make sure it is down so you can see it, okay. So again, make sure it's all done. And then what you're going to do, you're going to glue that in there, yeah. So it'll just slot back into your hole, yeah. There we go, just glue that back in. But then what you're going to do is, I'm only going to do a couple little pieces here. You take your black one, and then what you can do is just infill a little bit of the detail.
Okay.
Okay. So say I wanted, trying to get it off now, say I wanted that little bit of black there. And I'll tell you what I have. I did remember to put, excuse my finger, my tweezers in. Okay. So then all I'm going to do then is put some glue on the back of it. And then I'm going to have a twist this, save me doing it on my tweezers. And you're just going to fill in some of the black areas. That's
so
all.
This is paper piecing, isn't it?
You do a little bit of paper piecing.
Right. So
you're going to carry on doing that around the piece. And then all I've done then on my finished piece is I've added an orange frame on here. Okay, so can you see now?
Oh, wow.
My little bit's there, and we've got our, you can see through the back.
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to get the full effect in this. Guess what? Now something else I've forgotten. Well, I haven't forgotten. I just can't find it. Okay, well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay. Also, what I cut out is I cut out these lovely little skulls. I think this is from the headstone.
Yes.
I think this is from cemetery.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, then I'm just going to dirty them up a little bit. That's all. Okay. So I'm just dirtying those up. Again, it's all the little details that Sue gives you in the Sweet Dixie dies that really can add to your project. Mm-hmm. There you go. So
and you are getting the small skull and the big skull in this bundle, so it's all in there for you.
Everything's in there for you. That's what I love about it. And then what I've done is I've created a little stopper, because it's sort of an easel card we're doing. So I've just layered that up, and I've used a bat stamp here because I've got this tune in my head now. You can guess what I keep saying to myself. This lovely one from the Sketch Manor. Again, really, really useful. And I've also, this is the funny bit, I've chosen a sentiment from the Snarky Cat. And mine says, I know the voices aren't real, but they have some great ideas.
Yes.
I just think they're great. So they're going to be...
The verses on this stamp set are brilliant. They really are.
They are, aren't they? I like the one that's he's behind me, isn't he? Or it's behind me, isn't it? And I'm thinking... So what we're going to do now is I've got a card base. So what I've done is I've created my own card base here using a couple of pieces of card, and then I've just lined it, because what I'm trying to do is do a sort of an easel card.
Okay.
So
is that the orange and black card that we've got in the show?
It is, yes, and it's fantastic quality. It really is with the Sweet Dixie. So I've got the black and the orange from our paper packs. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add this to the front. So I've got my tab here. I've just literally done a 7.5 inch square and then scored it to create a tab. And I've done the same on this piece here. I scored it to make a tab, and I've just glued them together. That's all I've done to really create that. Because I needed a certain size. So if you haven't got the size you want, you make it. Okay, but there you go. If anyone wants the measurements though, they can ask me on my Facebook, just message me and I can give you the proper measurements for this one. So I'm just now adding this on. I'm going to squidge it around. I like to do that, wiggle my glue. Okay. Again, tape or glue. I always like to do a wet glue if it's going to have a lot of movement. You have to squeeze the inside. I ran out of black card when I made this card. Okay. I'm always very honest. I just ran out of black card when I had it. So that now, I hope you can see it, will form the front of our card. All right. So that is going to stand like that.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Looking good.
So next thing then is I want to put my stopper on. So we've got our stopper going across here. I just want to reach over and get some foam pads, she says. I foam pad everything within its inch of its life, apart from this project. So I'm just going to pop some foam pads on here, just very quickly. There we go. Dip, dip, dip. Just to give us some height. I'll just take off the end ones. See, I'm in between shows. I go off and I take all the pads off again and put them on properly. So I'm just going to pop that on there, because that's our stopper. I'm going to use this lovely little sentiment. I just can't go over these sentiments. Just make me giggle.
I mean, they're all brilliant. They're all very imaginative.
So fun. It's like, who thinks of them? You know, it's not something I would have thought of instantly.
And it's all the old-fashioned typewriter font as well, isn't it?
Yes, and I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. So that isn't on straight, is it? There you go. Again, remember, I've got wonky eyes. Because you know those the words with a happy Halloween, happy haunting?
Yeah.
To me, they look straight. That's how bad my eyes are. So now we've got our lovely little stepper on there, okay? And then we've got our little skulls then that we can put on wherever we want them. I just like to, we just lay them on for now, okay? So give them a little bit of a shape. I love my skulls. I think that'd be enough, wouldn't it? But the idea is, when you pop it up, if I take it to the front, this is where you'll find out what I've forgotten, is I forgot to put my tea light in.
I was going to say,
it's in here somewhere.
That is
I can't
crying
find,
out for some rice lights or tea lights.
That is what it is. So you put a little tea light behind. Okay, I should have put my phone in. I could have had the phone. Maybe do that later on. I'll get my phone and we'll put a highlight in there. But then the light shows up from behind, and because you've got the orange card, it gives that eerie glow to it.
Fantastic.
So I'll try and find my phone next time. I'll slip my phone in there for you so you can see
I now know why you said, you know, not just rice paper,
sorry.
but you could put acetate or you could put vellum in there as well.
Okay.
What a great card that is.
I was desperately trying to find the thing with my light, you know.
No, we haven't got it here, unfortunately. But imagine it with a little tea light in it or something like that. Absolutely brilliant. And remember, this die set is what you need to recreate that. And we've also got the orange and the black card as well. Now, this is really unusual. I don't think I've ever shown you this colour combination before, but Sue Dix at Sweet Dixie has basically, let me just move this over for you, has put these two together. And what you've got here is two 240 GSM, so really good weight and great quality. But you're going to get a total of, how many sheets? 50 sheets, 25 of the black, 25 of the orange, and they are true Halloween colours, aren't they? That's what we used to make that card a few minutes ago. So if you want to recreate that, only $8.99 for 50 sheets of cardstock. And you've got that resealable base on the packaging as well, so you can actually just take one sheet out at a time if you want to, and then just kind of keeps it all in pristine condition. But that is a true Halloween orange, isn't it? Absolutely
it is
brilliant.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
There we go. If you want those, £8.99 for 50 sheets, AGPQ24. And remember, you're only going to pay 1p&p all day long, no matter how many things you buy from us, either now or later on this afternoon. Now, the other Tim Holtz stamps we've got for you, get excited. This is really cool. Really, really cool. You've got your Sketch Manor. Now, as you can see there, that's the best haunted house, isn't it? It reminds you of certain films. You've got the branches, you've got the lightning strikes. I mean, that can be either or, really. It really, really can be. But you can really create some eerie scenes and be very moody with these stamp sets. And again, they're all rubber, not polymer or acrylic. So these can be used on hot projects as well. If you've got your UT or anything like that, it's not going to melt or anything at all. And it's also foam backed. So straight onto your acrylic block or into your stamping platform. And you've then got the spookiest Halloween house ever. So I would go definitely for those archival inks as well, because they are the Halloween colours. You've got your soot, you've got your espresso, your hickory smoke and your vintage photo. Go for those and you can really make that look really menacing. Absolutely brilliant. Now these again are down from over £30 to £23.99. You do pay a little bit more for rubber because it is of course a better quality of stamp. I mean, polymer stamps are fantastic, they're fine, but rubber is more expensive to produce and it's more durable, that sort of thing. So to get durable red rubber, foam mounted as well, and the image is actually stamped on there for you too, so you never forget what's on that stamp. But you've got the moon, you've got the branches, you've got the trees, multiple stamp to make like a woodland paint maybe behind the house. £23.99 for that, brand new today, this one as well. We've got, of course, the other one, which is the Snarky Cat as well. So some Halloween favourites from Tim Holtz and Ranger. If you want those, pop those into your basket right now. I mean, that really is quite a menacing house, Mandy, isn't it, that? It looks spooky, it looks really quite frightening.
It is. But look how many different elements are on there, though. I just think you can play with them. You can do all sorts, and mixed in with the dyes as well. It's like never ending, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Ollie, our director, is saying it reminds him of the Addams Family. Yeah.
Yeah?
Or Psycho.
Been to my street then? Yeah.
I
I like to say my house looks like that, but it doesn't.
So if you fancy that then, from Tim Holtz, you can tell it's got the Tim Holtz touch. Very arty, very quirky, very different and sketchy. Yeah, it's really cool. So if you fancy that, WIPQ34 is the product code. And that's, again, brought to you from Personal Impressions. Now, we've got another bundle, which is basically 2 die sets this time. So this is your Witch's Cauldron and your Spell Book and Wand. Now, this may be that you're into a certain wizard. Maybe you like a certain kind of franchise of films, that sort of thing. This could appeal to you as well, not just from a Halloween point of view. But there you've got your cauldron to make your spells. You put a spell on me. You've got the kind of swirls coming out of the cauldron too. But I mean, this doesn't have to be a cauldron. You can use it for all sorts. Use it as a flower pot if you wanted to, with some spring flowers coming out of it. But on this side, you've got your book of spells. You've got the kind of stars and all those kind of filigree details that maybe kind of appear in when you make your spell. And you've got your magic wand as well. These are another bundle that we've put together from Sweet Dixie Dies. How many dies have you got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 dies in total in this set. 8 dies, because you've put and Spell on Me are 2 separate dies. Where's this going to go, I wonder? What price can we do for this morning? Under a tenner for all of that. £9.47.
Amazing price again.
Eh?
It's an amazing price.
Yeah, incredible price. I mean, Sue Dix is renowned for her quality and also her value for money, but I think she's excelled herself. Look, all of those dies for £9.47. And that book doesn't have to be a spell book. It could be any type of book. You know, you can adapt these for different seasons in the year. Okay, you put a spell on me is undoubtedly a Halloween, but yeah, if you love your wizards and that sort of thing, your myth and magic, your unicorns, all that, it all kind of ties in together, doesn't it? £9.47 is all this is for both of those sets of dies. DPPQ 73 is your product code, DPPQ 73 if you fancy both of those today. And Mandy in the show is doing great demonstrations, as she always does, but mixing up lots of the items. So if you're dipping in and out, maybe you've got a lot going on, you've got the dog running around, you've got the kids screaming, you've got all sorts going on, got to get ready for work, and you want to have a little look and see everything that's on this show. If you can't spend the time watching the show, but you want to see what's in it, have a little look at the website, www.hobbymaker.co.uk, and everything that's in this show is listed in bundles bundles and individuals as well. You can buy individuals if you just want the gravestone, by the way, or you just want the skeleton. It's all there individually, but some bundles we've put together where you save even more money, okay? And you can see the bundle prices are absolutely incredible, but it may be that you don't necessarily want everything that's in a bundle. You just want one thing. That's fine. It's all there for you at hobbymaker.co.uk. And 1p&p for the whole day's shopping, no matter how many things you buy, just £3.95. And also, I know yesterday we sold out of glossy highlights from Crafter's Companion. I can tell you, we have stock of glossy accents on the show, on the website right now. It's about £6 something, and it's in stock. We've got hundreds of them. So if you want your glossy accents for your eyes and your windows to make them look like glass, it's on the website right now. The operator can get it for you as well if you want it. Right, Mandy, what we do next?
I thought we'd play with our snarky cat today.
Snarky cats.
Snarky cat. So we're going to do a really quick background again using our ink. So I'm actually using distress ink, a mixture of distress ink and oxides. I'm using cracked pistachio because I really want this soft colour. So I'm just going to start adding, and these are so quick and easy backgrounds to do, to add that one little bit of detail in the back when you're adding all your elements.
It's a lovely colour, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous colour, isn't it? It really is. But it's not too dark, because what I wanted was, although it's Halloween, I wanted something that was a little bit sort of softer, okay, but still get that feeling in the background, okay? So we're just going cracked pistachio, okay, bend that down.
Is that an oxide or?
This is a distress,
right?
Just the regular distress ink,
right?
Okay. I couldn't admit, I got a whole box full of oxides that I blocked in with a cupboard. So I can't actually get to my other ones. I've had to sort of mix and match my inks up here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with I've got an oxide now, and this is the Blueprint Sketch. I love this colour, okay. So I'm just going to start adding this colour in to the background, okay. And all the thing is, more ink you put on, the easier it is to blend, okay. And I love the oxides because that soft, chalky finish that you get from them, okay? And again, I'm just going back on my pistachio. And I'll just blend that in, using my lightest colour to blend it down, okay? So I'm going to come in with this now. So I want this bit to be quite low down. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the black soot next, okay? Very, very quickly. I just want to show you how I built this background. I have one done, but I want to show you how I built it. And this is your black soot now. And I'm just using the normal distress ink for this.
Okay.
This will give it that sort of area look. Okay. So I'm just doing this down the bottom to add that colour in. But you can see it's just that, you can already see that sort of colour in, that sort of detail. You can imagine all these stamps and inks, your stencils, sorry, on top of this now. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that in. Again, I'm just getting blue that's left on my piece. You can see my fingers taking off the ink. So you can see, it just shows you how much oil is in your fingers, how much moisture is in your fingers.
Yeah,
I normally
true.
I work with a piece of card normally, like this, as I'm going. It just keeps my...
Actually, that's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. Or a bit of paper, scrap, bit of tissue, anything. Keep your fingers off it. So now you've got the start of our background. But then what I thought was, I wanted some stenciling. I didn't necessarily want bats, but what it is, I've cut out this gorgeous spider's web from the dies. You can see that there, yeah? But I'm going to pop that down, and I'm going to take the Blueprint Sketch here. And you could use a little bit of stencil spray if you wanted to, and I'm just going to add through this now. So just popping it on gently around the edges there.
I don't think we often think about using our die cuts as stencils, but why not?
I use them all the time. I'll cut into card if they've got beautiful, and then you've got the innies and outies sometimes. I'll use that, the negative, or with something like this, I will use around it. But I just think, even onto the blue, by adding that bit more blue around it.
And this spider's web is a die that's in the show with a couple of spiders thrown in as well. That's on the website, but we'll give you details in a minute.
Yeah, they're creepy spiders.
Yeah, they are.
They are really creepy spiders. So again, I'm just adding little bits of detail into that background, okay? So this is one I've already done. It's all nice and dry. Can you see how with the colour combinations there? Then what I'm going to do, put that to one side, and we've got this gorgeous I'm going to use a pumpkin. I've already stamped some out already.
That's the die set you're going to get if you go for it. XWPQ30, only $5.99 for a big spider's web and a couple of really creepy spiders. If you've got to think about spiders first thing, well, any time of the day, I apologise, but they are there. 2 spiders and the spider's web for £5.99. I
mean, I don't like spiders. I really don't like spiders.
No, me neither.
Right, now I'm using the archive. I'm using black soot and I'm using this pumpkin, okay? And I want to show really quickly how to colour this pumpkin up. This is why I do it. I always do it onto a piece of card and colour it on the card before I cut it out. Okay, so I'm giving that a good old press down because I'm working onto watercolour cards, so it's slightly more textured because I've used a cold press, which normally gives it a bit more texture, whereas a hot press gives you nice smooth cardstock. But you can see that beautiful little pumpkin there. Okay.
The detailing in that's fantastic.
It is gorgeous, isn't it? And I'm going to take the carved pumpkin now in the distress ink. Okay. So I'm going to take the carved pumpkin and we're going to colour that in. Okay. So I'm going to just use again, I'm colouring everywhere. There you go, just colour it in. Hope you can see this, yeah. So I'm just colouring it in. That is my first colour, yeah. Because some people get a bit funny about colour, oh, I can't colour, I can't shade, but it's so easy with these, it really is. I'm going to grab in, here we go, another colour now, and I'm using ripe persimmon now.
Okay.
Okay. Just going to grab that.
You don't have to worry about staying within the lines because you're going to cut it out.
I'm going to cut it out, exactly. But then I'm going to add a layer of this and we're going to start seeing how you can really easily shade it. Okay, can you see it's starting to go light and dark at the bottom there?
Cool.
So I'm just doing that sort of halfway up. Yeah. Then I'm going to come in with the candied apple. Yeah, I've got my colours right. Again, this is our sort of bottom shade now. Yeah. So now I'm just going to add this in. Can you see now we've got all this shading now just by using your distress inks. And then all I would do then is once I've taken it out there, I would, I'm trying to find my black one, just add a little bit of darkness around the edges and any white bits then. And when you've cut that out, okay, I'll show you now. This is what you're going to look like. So I've cut these out already.
Oh, wow.
Shading it exactly the same way, but very, very quickly, easily for you.
And that's not using a paintbrush, any paints at all, just basically your blending tool.
Just use your blending tool, exactly. Yeah. And then you can see then I've stamped out the snarky cat. Look at him. And I've coloured him, actually, I've coloured him in with a little bit of vintage photo as well as a carved pumpkin, believe it or not, to get that colour.
Right.
And I've also done a hat, witch's hat, and we've done the broomstick. It's gorgeous though, isn't it?
Do you think about using your distress inks for colouring, you know, items like that, things that you stamp? Maybe not. I think for a long time I just thought distress inks were really for kind of backgrounds and things like that.
I think a lot of us do because with the distress ink, don't forget, it stays wet for a little while. So if you use a normal distress ink, you can actually emboss with it. If you put the powder on straight away, it's still wet. You can emboss with it.
Brilliant.
You get longer time with the oxides because it's got more of a pigment base to it. But you can actually emboss with these as well. There's so many different things you can do. That's why I think everyone just fell in love with distress inks because of all the things you can do.
All the distress inks and the distress oxides are available through Personal Impressions, PI. You can see that on the screen there. And where they've got their brand shop, remember, on our website, it's there 24/7. So any of those oxides or distress inks you want to stock up on from Tim Holtz and Ranger, fill your boots. They're there 24/7.
Yeah. So just put a little base on there now for my card. And I'm going to bring in this, but I want to add a little bit of atmosphere. So I'm just going to take any ink that's left on my... I'm huffing. Yeah. Just a little bit around the outside, just to frame it. I always think it's nice to have a little bit of colour around the outside because it sort of brings you into the story, creates a little vignette and sort of brings you into that story, I think, by, you know, focusing you into the centre. So just that little bit there. I bring my card in. It
does make a difference doing that to the corners.
It does. It's just a little bit though, you know. So we're just going to pop this on.
It's almost like you're looking through a lens.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. So pop that in there again. I'm going to... I don't want to get my fingers lift that colour off again. Okay.
So when would that be dry then? After what, half an hour or less than that?
No, less. You can heat set it with the tool, with your heat gun as well, yeah? But my fingers are quite, I don't know, I just seem to be quite oily. And then what I'm going to do, I'm bringing in some of the die cuts now, okay? So I've just cut out some of the bats, there you go, and I've used this from the spooky tree and the fence there, okay? So what we're going to do there is we're going to start building our piece now, okay? Let me get the foam pads.
Don't worry, everything Mandy's using in the demonstration we'll show you details of when the demo's over.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pop these on really quickly for you. So I'm going to have a stack of pumpkins just here. So I'm going to pop my first one there. I'm going to shape it a little bit. There you go. So I'm going to have that sort of just tilted that way. Put this one in. All right, so we're going to put that there. Yep. And then what we can do is I can have this as a whole tree in the background. So I'm just going to place them on. You can see what I mean now. You can have him there. I'm going to have a little bit of fencing coming in out there. Yep. So I can put a little bit of fencing there. But can you see the face in the tree? That is the haunted tree. He's actually got a face in his tree.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
People don't seem to realise it's there. So
I missed that earlier on.
Then I've got my little cat here, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm going to have this. Actually, I'm going to swap that tree around the other side. Sorry. There you go. That's the way I designed him, to go that side. Okay. So I'm going to pop that just there. You're going to glue these down afterwards, yeah? I'm going to have my cat here.
Jumping over the pumpkins.
Yeah, jumping over. You'll see why now. So I'm going to pop his hat on here. So I love about these elements because we can build. So he's going to have his hat on. There you go. Yep. He's going to have his broomstick. Okay, so I'm just popping that in. This is what I say, you can have fun, you can build the scenes. So there you go. So we're going to have him on his
Total
broomstick.
mischief, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute
and
mischief.
then we've got these little bats now. And it's as if they're chasing him across there now. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to pop him there and there. Can you see? There you go. All we need then is to choose a little phrase, whatever phrase you want. But I'm having him coming across here. There you go. But there's so many different phrases on that stamp set you could choose to put in here.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think I might have just...
There they all are, look.
There.
You get all of those stamps. That's not one big stamp. That's all individual die-cut stamps in that stamp sheet.
There you go. So, can you see him now? So I know we've got to glue these little bits on, but I mean, again, just have some fun. There's so many things you can do, and everything works together. That's the thing that I love, and I love this spooky tree, especially that face in there. I've got to make sure his face is shown when I glue it down. There you go.
If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have seen that face in the tree at all.
I didn't think you would have done so, yeah, but it's just, it is there. You can see the, once you know it's there, you know, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, can you? But there you go. So, lovely little card there, using your Snarky Cat. But again, look at the die as a stencil. We've got this beautiful tree there, which I would just cut to size, and these lovely little bats on the dies.
Okay, well, the tree die then, let's show you the spooky tree, because you're actually going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 6 dies in this set. 6 dies for £5.99. And again, that tree, cut out in black, yes, it looks spooky. Yes, it looks very kind of fierce. And you can see that face in there as well. But to be honest with you, if you cut that out of brown and put, you know, red glue dots or something like that on there, it would look like a spring tree with apples on it. An apple tree, it could be a tree of life, it could be a money tree. Family tree, anything you like. But yeah, when you actually get pointed out that you've got the kind of spooky, almost like the scream face in the tree you can't unsee that. You're absolutely right, it's there. Then you've got your fence panels, you've got your moon, you've got your 2 different sizes of bats as well. What's the, the circle's for the full moon, isn't it?
Full moon, and you've got, then you've got the
full moon, and then a kind of an arch moon. £5.99 for all of those, £1 a die. That's ridiculous. It really is. And again, you know, yes, it comes into its own at Halloween, but of course it can be an all year round tree as well. Now, what else do we want to see? Pumpkin Corner. Where's that? This one.
Yep.
This is Pumpkin Corner, I think. Yes. So you've got a little pumpkin in this right angle that you can see here. Now, actually, you could easily cut that out 4 times and make a square frame if you wanted to with this.
Easily.
£3.99. Oh, come on. Really? £3.99. And that's a delivered price if you've bought anything else already from us this morning. Cat P&P, £3.95 from midnight to midnight every single day. But there he is, that kind of sinister pumpkin, carved pumpkin in the corner. Really, really good value and very useful as well. Yep, you can have them maybe just in one corner of a card, have them in two corners at the bottom or at the top, or have the whole four. It's entirely up to you. £3.99, CRPQ 87. CRPQ 87. Can I just remind you of the spider's web as well that Mandy used? I mean, this is a big die. There we are. So there's your web. And apologies if you've got a thing about spiders. They're not real. They're dies. But they look very realistic. They really do. We're not selling real spiders at the moment. That may come in the future. XWPQ30 is the product code for your spider's web and your spiders. £5.99 is all that is. And again, all these dies are just so really affordable and beautifully crafted and made. They cut to perfection. What I would do, a top tip actually that someone told me a few years ago about these actual packaging cases that these come in. If you've got like a sharp Stanley knife or a razor blade or anything like, or a craft knife, just cut round the back of these, and then you can actually peel the back off, because these are like the blister packs, like razor blades come in, that are difficult to open. You can just get your craft knife and cut round here, round here, round here. You can then pull the back out and take the die out and keep it in its case if you want to. That's what I know a lot of people do. So £5.99 for that one. XWPQ30 is the product code if you want to go for it. And of course, our Snarky Cat stamps are fantastic. Now, we've also got in the show from the lovely Debbie Moore, who's also now part of Personal Impressions as well. We've got this card-making kit, this Halloween card-making kit. Now, Debbie is renowned for her card-making kits. She's probably most famous for her Art Deco, but she also does lots of other things as well. And this is another fantastic kit that Debbie has put together, the Halloween Town. Now, what you've got in here, there's no dies or anything like that. It's basically these wonderful characters. And all of these you can easily cut out with a trimmer or a pair of scissors if you want to. This is all cardstock, and it comes with the now infamous Debbie Moore Forever Code. So in other words, the artwork that you're getting printed here, you can actually print off again and again and again from the website that's actually included in your packaging. You've got a forever code, which you put in. That recognises the fact that you've bought this, and then you can print all of this off again and again and again for no price. You're not going to be charged for the artwork at all. So it's an unlimited Halloween kit here with background papers, wonderful toppers, and the choice is that you can print off whatever you like onto whatever you like. You can print off onto acetate if your printer will do that for you. You can print onto rice papers if your printer will do that. Anything at all. Even some printers take fabric. You could print onto fabric if you wanted to as well. So this card kit is NLPQ61. NLPQ61. I love the artwork though. I love the colours. And it's almost like you're watching a cartoon on the TV, isn't it, really? It
is actually. It reminds me of, is it Batfink or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. But they're really lovely, and they're vibrant colours, lots of oranges, lots of purples. You've got your black houses there with the lights on in there looking really eerie. You've got the witch as well with the witch's hat. But yeah, you get, I don't know how many pages you get in here. There's a lot for your money. You've got 12 craft sheets in here, a mixture of background papers and toppers. And what price are we going to do this at? With the Forever Code, you'll always have this artwork that you can print off again and again and again. Here we go. What can we do this? £8.99.
Wow.
£8.99. And you don't have to make cards out of this. You can decorate your trick-or-treat bucket with it.
Exactly. Cards, you do scrapbooking. Imagine going out and get your pictures done and do a scrapbook page. That would look really, really cool, wouldn't it? Use your boxes, your gift bags, all sorts you can do in there. Cut out the elements. You haven't got to use them as they are. You can just cut out decoupage elements on there.
Absolutely.
The colours are beautiful, aren't they? You've got the blues, the purples, you've got the oranges. You've got, I mean, there's a great collection there. Greens, and you've got lovely background papers with it as well. And again, the cardstock there, that's £2.50 GSM on there.
I love that image.
That's the one we're going to use.
Oh, is it?
Very, very quick demo for you on that.
Okay, fantastic. And there's all your background papers as well. It's printed onto cardstock for you, but going forward, what you print it onto is entirely up to you. You've got the artwork there with the Forever Code as well. Only £8.99, and we'll get this to you as quickly as possible. Right then. Quite a few of you going for this. I'm not at all surprised. We'll get it to you in the next few days. So you can order today with confidence. It won't take long to get it to you at all.
Right then, so what we're going to do, it's a very, very quick one, this one, okay? Because I want to show how easy these are. So I'm using the sort of spooky tree again, okay? And I'm using, she says, spiders. I read out. Me and my brother, my oldest brother, he's 4.5 years older than me. He don't like spiders either.
No.
I'm the sort of thing
I don't know many people that do, to be honest.
If there's a spider in the room, there's a spider in the bedroom, and I won't sleep now. I go downstairs and sleep. Tell my husband because I think I can hear it crawling up the wallpaper. I'm just thinking I know it's there somewhere, so I won't go until I know it's gone. My husband's my hero when it comes to spiders. Okay.
Well, my other half says to me sometimes, "There's a spider in the kitchen, Dave. Come and get it. It's got teeth and hoofs and wings and everything."
Oh, big hairy ones. My mother used to call them Horace.
Yeah.
Horace in the bath. Okay. Still to make it any funnier, it still don't like spiders. So. I know they can't harm you, the ones here, but, you know, I don't care. I got bit by a ladybird once, so, you know, I don't trust anybody.
Really?
Yeah, I got bit by a ladybird.
Did you upset it?
I must have done. I was in Western Supermare just before I got married. It was a big, huge thing.
Oh, they're vicious ladybirds in Western Supermare.
There were Spanish ones. There was a whole flock of them. I don't know what they're called. A flock of ladybirds came in, yeah, and I got bit. So what I've done is the paper Dave showed you earlier on, okay? What I have done is, very easy, is these are shaped cards, and the shaped card comes in the card making kit, the Halloween Town.
Yep.
So all I've done is I've cut out the basic shape, and then I've added some layers. So I've added a yellow layer of cardstock, and I've added a black layer, just picking out the colours from the card, because I wanted to make it a bit more to it, you know? And on the base, this is what you actually get on the sheet as well. It's got a score line ready for you, and I've done exactly the same on the back, repeating it. But this is going to be our little card stand at the back, you see, when we do it. So she's even given you a stand to do it on as well. So what we're going to do on the front piece here, what you also get on the sheet is fantastic. You get this decoupage layer. And the thing I like about this decoupage layer is you haven't got to worry about getting right up to lines, tiny fussy cutting. Because what Debbie's done with design is, if you can see it, she's included some of the background in it already to cut round. So that when you pop it on, it blends into the background for you already. So you haven't got to worry about tiny detail. They've made it so simple for you to cut out. They really have. So what I'm going to do is, this is the decoupage layer. You can see lots of pads on here, but I'm only going to take off a couple. A lot of the time you put lots of pads on for support. I use cardboard, but you don't actually need to peel them all off. Only peel off the bits you really need to be stuck down. The rest are just for support. So I take the peel off all the ones around the outside. There we go. Okay. So again, just want to show you how quick and easy they are, but how you can add detail to them as well. They're beautiful just as they are. So if you just want a really quick card, these are great. And the kids will love crafting with this set, really will, because it's such fun. There you go. So now we've got our tree as well. And I'm thinking I'm going to lift that. I did it before. I think, I don't know, I might put it in the background. Yeah, I'm going to do that and have it coming that way. Okay. So we have it nice and creepy. So now you can see we're building this background up. Again, I'm going to use these lovely little bits of fencing. Although you can't see them that well, when you hit the light, when the light does hit them, you can see them. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use a little bit of glue. There we go. And I'm going to take off the excess because I don't want too much on there. And what I'm going to try and do is, I want to try and hold that into place. I'm going to have to hold it in for a couple of seconds because I want to get a little bit of shape on it, just a tiny bit of shape. So the Aleene's tacky glue is really good for this, okay? I happen to have cut my hole too big today, so I haven't had a chance to pop it into a bottle, a dispensing bottle. So that is why I'm having to use this little one, okay?
And Aleene's tacky glue is supplied by Personal Impressions as well. And I think I'm right in saying it's America's #1 selling craft glue. So that's stocked by us through Personal Impressions on their website. You'll find it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I got some here. And what if I can put it on my mat? But I've picked my hole so big on it, and that's my fault. I was trying to unblock it, and I actually split the lid. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm going to try a little bit of this, because this is actually tackier than the glue I've got. And that's what I love about it, okay? So I'm going to pop this side. There you go. And I think we've got a lovely little trial pack in the glues for the show.
Have they? Okay.
It's like a little 5-1, all different types of glue in there.
Oh, we've got it actually. There we are. The tacky trial glue, 5-pack for £4.99. Different types of glue, yeah?
Different types of glue. And what I love is keep the bottles. I'm actually going to put those on off. My glue isn't sticking onto there, but this tacky one is. Look at that, it's starting to stick now.
So keep the bottles so that you can, when you buy the big ones, decant into...
I decant them into it because they're so useful. Now we've also got, you carry on adding your layers, okay? I'm not going to fuss around my glue. And then you've got this lovely little sign that comes on that sheet again. But what I want to do is, I've got 2 strips of acetate here. Okay, and we've got our sign. But what I'm going to put the back on first because it's going to be hard otherwise for me to do this. So I got a little bit of tape. Again, if you've got a lot of movement in the card, I would use the glue. I'm just using tape for speed, says me who can't get the back off. So it's not very speedy, is it, for me? Oh, I'm having one of those days, Dave. I am, and I'm having one of those days. And then I'm just going to pop this on. So I'm leveling it up with the base. There we go. All right, and just squeezing that down. And that then gives me my little stand, okay?
Perfect.
So now we've got this sign. So I'm taking off the foam pads ready. Okay, I'm not sticking it on yet because what I want to do is I have 2 pieces of acetate here. It's hard to see. 2 strips of acetate on my hand there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go halfway along one foam pad there. I want to make sure there's ends stick. I don't want to put it all the way. And halfway along that pad as well. Yep. And then I'm going to pop that on, and I think we'll have it at a jaunty angle, I think.
Yeah,
I can't, do you know, I can't do it. I have to have it straight. Well, I say straight. Anything I put on straight is jaunty, but I try to get it straight. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just add a little bend into my acetate strips. Okay, you can curl it round as well. And all I'm going to do then is get my spiders. Here we go. I think these are cute. Yep. Get the spiders and have them sort of dangling. You decide where you want them. I cut off the excess. Little spider. Oof. She says. Because they're so realistic, these ones. And that's when I thought, oh, I don't know. You know, so I'm just going to cut off the excess there. Yeah. So that when I bend them down a bit more.
That's great.
You're going to have, I'm going to come round to the front. So I haven't finished secking my fencing on yet, because I thought I'm not going to waste time with that.
You've got your boingy spiders.
I've got my boingy spiders hanging over.
That's great, I love it. That's brilliant. I would never have thought of doing that. And it's all because you've got the card kit from Debbie Moore. And remember, this is the card kit that never runs out. And Debbie does that with all of her card kits now. And if you think about it, I mean, that is a really generous thing to do, to give a forever code that means you never, ever have to buy the artwork again. And you can make whatever you, sell whatever you make, no problem there at all. But you're going to get 12 sheets in total of this beautiful artwork with the kind of cartoon characters of the bats and so on. They're just adorable, aren't they? Kind of tongue-in-cheek, spooky. Then you've got, of course, the dramatic house with the lights on, the dramatic tree branches, the full moon in the background there as well. But remember, when you get this, if you want to print it off onto some other form of paper or card or rice paper or fabric or acetate or vellum, whatever you want to do, whatever your printer will allow you to do, this artwork is there for you to print it off as many times as you like. So this is a firm favourite of yours, and I think that's my favourite sheet, the demo that Mandy just did. You know, you can print that off 50 times if you want to and make 50 different cards at no extra charge. This is just, remember, £8.99 if you want the paper kit. There's the background papers as well. They've been printed onto top quality card, but again, you can print onto paper if you want to, whatever you like. But they're included as well. And you've got the little haunted houses there as a background as well. Then you've got the bats. So 12 sheets for £8.99, but it's the only Halloween pack you need to buy because the artwork is going to be there for years and years and years to come. And just, it's because of the code that you get in the pack. Just literally go onto the website that they tell you about in the actual kit itself, and you can print off the artwork again and again. Okay, so that's our Halloween pack. Now the haunted house die, where's that now? I haven't got the die. Oh, here it is. Beg your pardon. Here it is. Now, this looks very similar to the house of Tim Holtz and also the house that's in Debbie Moore's. I mean, haunted houses do look very similar, don't they? All very kind of random, a bit kind of angular, very kind of quirky and jaunty. Not a straight floor in the whole building. Everything's slopes, everything's creaky.
My house.
Look at.
It's my house.
Is it your house? And there's that little spook you can see there as well. Now, this is, no, come on, £3.99 for your haunted house. That is crazy value. How do we do this? and with Cat P&P of $3.95 for the whole day as well. So maybe you bought some cardstock or you bought another die set earlier on between 6 and 7. This is Wake Up to Hobbymaker, by the way. So we're with you every weekday, Monday through Friday between 6 and 8, ahead of Sewing Street and Jewellery Maker. And then we're back together a bit later on. Mandy's here with a show at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm with you between 1 and 6 this afternoon on Hobbymaker. That's where we are every day of the week, 7 days a week, between 1 and 6. But this is just too good to miss. Again, you can paper piece it, you can colour it. It's unmistakably a haunted house. Maybe it's reminding you of a certain film that you remember growing up to and it scared you to death or whatever. $3.99, or maybe it reminds you of theme parks. Maybe you've been to an American theme park. It reminds you of houses over there. Psycho House, maybe it reminds you of that. But I love the fact you've got the little kind of spooky ghost there in the corner of the house as well. And the pumpkin at the front too. £3.99 for that one. All the dies that are in the show, we are very well aware that early in the morning you've got lots of things on. The family's probably busy, making you busy, lots of things to do. Have a little look at the website. You can watch this show back at any time. Some people watch back Wake Up to Hobbymaker at like 9 o'clock in the evening, and you can do that on our website if you want to as well, which is hobbymaker.co.uk. Now, the Sassy Witch. If you're going to have a witch, you might as well have a sassy one. Have a little look at the Sassy Witch. Now, she's not your ordinary witch on a broomstick. She's actually got a little bit of swagger. She's got a bit of style, a bit of class. She's not the old haggard witches that we're used to seeing, but this one is your Sassy Witch. So, yeah, a bit more kind of funky. And she comes with a cat as well, and also she's got her broomstick in her hand too. Look at the size of the die. Lots of you going for this, I've just been told. We obviously get busier between 7 and 8 in the morning as lots of you set your alarm. Maybe your alarm's just gone off. £5.49. You've got to name her. What would you name her? What do you reckon? What does she look like to you?
It's not a Sheila, is she? It's not a sassy. It's not a sassy name.
She's not
is
a
it?
Sheila, is she? No. I don't know. What would you call her? Linda. That's
Karen.
Karen. £5. Oh, hello, Linda. Morning. That's why they said Linda. Morning. Linda's coming up on Jewellery Maker a bit later, in about 35 minutes' time. UQPQ73, that's a weird number. UQPQ73, that's the product code if you want your Sassy Witch. Yeah. Now, the lacy bats, so we've got those, and we actually have got a bat stencil as well, but these are the lacy bats. Now, these are such a size, you could actually make a bat mobile. Black cardstock.
Easily.
Cut them out a few times, have them on bits of string or bits of twine or whatever, hang them. That would be great. So there is your lacy bats. You get both of them for £4.49. And they're slightly different. You can see their wings are in slightly different positions, so you're not getting two the same. You're getting two slightly different. But again, lots of potential there to paper piece it if you want to, or you can put little gems on it if you want to as well. It's up to you. Have they got little love hearts? Yeah, they have. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're
All sorts
love
of little
hearts.
bits you can pick out of there. It's
Yeah.
like on the skeleton as well. There's a little heart for his nose, so I've put that on there as well. And his teeth come out, which I thought would be fangs for something else, so I put them on the card
Cool.
as well.
Like it. So your lacy bats, £4.49, that's £2.25 each. For dies of that size, that is remarkable value. UHPQ17 is the product number for that. And we have got a bat stencil as well, which we'll mention a bit later on and come on to a bit later on. But let's go back to our skeleton and skull bundle. Now, we launched this about an hour ago, and you may or may not have been up at like 6:20. It is really an ungodly time in the morning. But let's have a little look at this. This is a bundle. You can buy them separately. They are on the website separately. Individually, they're going very, very well as well. But if you go for the bundle, that's where you save the most money. I mean, none of Sweet Dixie dies are expensive. They're always great value, and they all cut to perfection if you're worried about that because the price is so low. They don't underperform. They are brilliant dies, and they cut perfectly first time, every time, in any die cutting machine. You've got your skull. And as Mandy was saying, you've got the little, I didn't notice that before, you've got the little love heart in the nose. So if you wanted to kind of pick that out in red or whatever, you can do that with paper piecing. My favourite, though, is the skeleton. I love this skeleton because the skeleton actually, although he's one big die, all the bits are separate. So you'll get the leg, the foot, the ribs, the arms, all of it will come out as separate pieces. So you can actually kind of put your skeleton together. You can have him dancing. You can maybe, if you've got the patience and the will, could put little tiny brads to join his joints together and they could move. Yeah, you could do a Mandy look.
Again.
Yeah, absolutely. You could have his arms kind of hanging. You could have all sorts of fun with it. So we'll look at that a bit later. The coffin, obviously you can't have Halloween without a coffin. And then you've also got your gravestone as well, which you can, of course, add all your favourite inks to and grunge it up, make it look really, really kind of sinister and dark if you want to. So there we go. All 4 of these die sets. And look at the price. £16.49. It wasn't that long ago that you'd be paying that price for just the skull. £4.12 for each of these die sets. I mean, this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4 dies in it, one of them being the big skeleton. This has got how many dies? 1, 2, 3, 4 dies in it with the gravestone, and then one big coffin as well. £16.49. That we launched about an hour ago, very popular as a bundle, but remember they are on the website as individuals as well. If you just want 1 of those or 2 of those, cherry pick what you want, you'll pay no more than £3.95 postage. Right, Mandy?
Right, we're going to put the skeleton now.
Brilliant, my favourite.
As I say, it's called Skellington.
Skellington.
I tell my son, it's not a skeleton. He goes, no, it's Skellington. My teacher said. I went, oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know about that. So we're going to do a variety. We're going to do a little tag here. It's just watercolour card that I've cut into the shape for tag. And we're going to do a quick, really quick, simple background to show you. So I'm going to use my map this time, and I'm just covering my map with some ink. So I'm using antique linen as my first layer. So we are going to do a little bit drying of this one, and a little bit of spritz of water straight onto my mat, my mini. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start picking up colour onto your tag. So again, I start off with quite a light colour, if you can see that there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is give that a quick dry. Okay. Just so I can get on my next colour. So again, it's all about, it's just splodging. Or smooshing, as they technically call it, isn't it?
Did you say that was watercolour card, yeah?
It's just watercolour card. A nice stamp cardstock would be good as well. I've done this with, at home I have the Sweet Dixie card as well, the stamping card, and that does it really well on there. So that's our first colour. Then what I thought, I'm going to come in with a little bit, I'm using some oxides, fossilised amber, so I'm just putting a little bit down there.
Ooh, that's a nice colour.
Okay, again, I am just adding a little bit of water.
It's like mustard.
It is, it's lovely, isn't it? So just let that work. You can see it working there, and all I'm going to do then is I'm going to start dabbing my card in. And you'll see it's just about, it's so easy to do, but you are just sort of building your colours up. And you always think, oh, it looks like a right dog's dinner when you first start doing this. But this is how, obviously, when you're working with inks, not obviously at all if you don't know, when you're working with inks and you've got on your board, never wipe it up. Get a bit of watercolour card or a bit of card and just splodge it around and let that dry, because you could stamp onto that later on, you could die cut it, anything, and just build up your layers. Again, if you do art journaling and you've got a book, waste ink, waste paint, put it into that, and it creates a background for you to work
That
on.
way you waste nothing.
Exactly. But it gives you these wonderful effects as well, okay? So that's that one. Okay.
It's the easiest way of doing random as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wipe, just because we're for speed, I'm just wiping up a little bit. I'm going to add some carved pumpkin now, okay? And then I'm going to, again, pop this on, a bit of water into there, and again, I'm starting to pick up colour in some of the areas on that as well, okay? So some of my bare areas, I just keep checking. Can you see what it starts doing? It's building up those colours.
Love it.
Again, I wouldn't waste that bit at home. Give that a quick dry. There we go. But again, just a way to get a quick background. And I love these colours because they really are sort of pumpkin feel, isn't that? Autumn feel, because obviously it's autumn.
And
I
all
can't
those,
believe it, how
all
quick-
those ink pads that we just used are on the website under the Personal Impressions brand, so check those out if you want some Distress Oxide.
Sorry, Dave. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the black soot.
Yeah.
Exactly the same again. I love my mini misters. Okay. And then, again, I'm just getting little bits on here just to create a little bit of moody effect. And if you want a little bit, spread it a bit around as well. Just spray the water direct onto your card. Okay? So just, and then you're going to dry that. Okay? But
Really
every card
grungy
is
now,
different.
isn't it?
It's like, but every card is different.
Yeah.
Every time you do this, you'll get a different effect. So you're getting a different look each time. You really are. Now I mix in oxides with your normal distressing, so I've got some bit more transparency in the areas where I've used my regular distressing. I always say regular, but there's nothing regular about a distressing because I love them. Everybody just loves them, you know. Okay, so you've got that there then. Then I thought we'd bring in the bat stencil.
Ah, the bat stencil, here it is. Now this is again from, this is from Elizabeth Craft Designs.
It is, it's lovely though, isn't it?
Okay. Now there's your stencil, and it's multiple bats. There's loads of them on there in actual fact. There we go, there it is.
Okay.
And it's coming on the screen now. This isn't going to be much money at all. This is going to be so affordable, I know it. KSPQ 42, $5.99 for your bat stencil. There we go.
Okay. So now I'm just adding a little bit of detail into the background, that's all. But you can see how that really looks
Brilliant.
sort of autumny, doesn't it? Sort of autumny, sort of Halloweeny. And then I'd use that again, and any gaps there, I start adding that to that eerie feel in the background, okay? So you're just going to go around there. There you go, and do it as light or as dark as you want. But I love that really spooky feel to it.
That looks really cool.
It's good, isn't it? And then, if you've got I have got one, a paper shredder. What I'm going to do then is I'm using scissors, so please be careful if you do this. But you can get the paper shredders, little things. And I just want this now to be a little bit roughed up.
They're like the little discs, aren't they, with the concealed blades?
They are, yes. So nice. They've got a safety feature on those. Okay, and I just give it a little bit where I've torn that now, but you can see how that quickly builds up into that wonderful background. So I've already got one dry for you anyway. But next bit, now I have to have my map here. That's my map. Where I cut my skeleton out, I keep the map. Because I was saying in the meeting, we're like, I don't remember which bones are which.
Where.
Exactly. So all I've done here is I've made a tag, again, just going around the outside of the shape I already had, roughed the edges up, the black and the orange card, just to give myself a background, okay? So this then is my background. So I'm going to pop that on because I need this ready to do my skeleton. So I'm going to pop my glue on here, okay? Here we go. There we go.
And the thing is, because the skeleton comes in pieces, you can have all sorts of fun. I mean, it could be a little kind of puzzle for the kids, or even for an adult, what bone goes where. You could kind of link the bones together with tiny little brads, if you've got any of those, and they could, kind of be jointed.
Yeah, a little bit like me now, my puzzle. So if you bear with me, if the bone's in the wrong place, it doesn't matter. It may not be anatomically correct. I can't say the word. It's very early. It's very early. Now, I also want to make a couple of bits to go on here. So I'm using one of the stamps from the Snarky Cats here. And this is, I'll show you now. I've got this one stamped out, but I think it's brilliant. This is trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. I think that's brilliant. But look how beautifully they stamp out. It is so clear on there to stamp out. And then what I'm going to do is I just want to colour that up. So I've got 2 tags here, and I'm going to get some, I'm going to have the antique linen first. Okay. I'm mixing all my colours up here now. Okay. And I just want to age these pieces. Okay. That's all I'm doing. Before I do anything then, I just want to go over them because they're too pristine for this project.
I think antique linen is the best colour to make something look vintage.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. But it's a nice base colour as well. You can see my fingerprints on there. And then I'm just going to, again, use that little bit of that black to go around the outside to bring that moodiness in to our pieces. But this is how easy it is to create really easy pieces. And then on this one now, I have got the words for my big label, trick or treat, from the word powers. This is what I love about these now. So we would just pop on our trick or treat, okay? You can make little cards, couldn't you, with trick or treat and give people them, say trick or treat, and then just post them for the door box if they don't give you anything.
Yeah, you could do, yeah.
So we've got our 2 pieces now finished. These are the ones that are finished, okay, just to show you. Now the fun bit, here we go. Mandy building a skeleton. So if I move this now, can you see my skeleton?
No pressure, Mandy, no pressure.
I know. But what I've also done is I've cut the pumpkin out. So I'm taking his head away. We're not using that head as that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to use jack-o'-lantern head because it reminds me of Sleepy Hollow. I love Sleepy Hollow, see, so it reminds me of that. Okay.
So the skeleton's going to have a pumpkin head?
Yes, he's having a pumpkin
Why not?
head, yep. So, you have to bear with me. I'll try and do this now, live on air, you know. So, we're going to pop him his head on there.
I love the fact that you've got the kind of waist as well, which is actually, it could be a stencil, couldn't it? You could use the waist of that as a stencil.
I would make a button really nice. You could have a solid background, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That'd be great as a background effect, isn't it, with other things? Imagine that in the background, then you've got your snarky cat doing all the other stuff. So far, so good. Look, I got that in the right place. I know that's the right one. And then I got a feeling I've got...
It gets a bit trickier now.
It gets a bit trickier, yeah. So I got a feeling that that is that.
Is it an arm or is it a leg?
I know the short bones are arms, so I can do that bit, can't I? Although I've missed a short bone somewhere. And I know that that's a long arm. So I'm going
I'm so pleased you get the separate bits because you can have his arm up like he's waving. You can have a bit of fun with it.
Locked up. Hold on, get my glue out.
You can have him doing the splits if he wants to.
You could do anything. You can have him dancing, you can have him waving. Oops. You could have him doing all sorts, couldn't you?
Now, if you want the skeleton on his own, which I know many of you are putting into your basket, because it's not just Halloween, this is all year round for a bit of fun, isn't it? £5.48 for your skeleton die. And it's not just, where is it again? It's not just the actual skeleton you get in the die set. You get the pumpkin, and you get the hat, and you get the bow tie as well. So there's actually 4 dies, and the skeleton is the biggest one, obviously.
Yep, so there we go. So I'm popping that on. I've lost a bone somewhere, but we won't worry about that one. Okay. I told you I lost a bone. It's like digging one up, isn't it? You know, you'd lose bones, wouldn't you? She says, I'm just saying you lose bones. Yeah, yeah. I've been to these. I've seen these diggers on telly because I know that bone's upside down. There you go.
But you could have him waving. You could have him with his arms crossed, doing a high kick.
You could do anything, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But I'm not doing too bad. I've lost the bone, but apart from that, not too bad. I don't know, I'll put it that way anyway. Whether it's the right way or not, we're going. There we go.
I think this is my favourite die out of the whole show. I love it.
It's cute. Mine's knock-kneed by the looks of it, isn't he? Looks
Why
a bit
not?
knock-kneed. Why not? And then I've got 2 hands and 1 foot. Do you know what they've moved? As I've moved them around the desk, oh, look.
Under your heat there they were.
We got them, yeah. So, because if I can put this skeleton together, anyone can do it, trust me. And I'm going to put that one just there. You see why now. Okay. Let's get right and left feet in the right area. You can never tell. Yeah. I like a dicky bow and a black little suit jacket on. It would be nice, wouldn't it? So we could do a bit of tap dancing.
Just before you actually stick him down, just kind of put the bones in different positions, see what you like the look of.
Exactly.
What makes you laugh.
And make sure your right and left hands are the right way around. Because otherwise it could be awkward.
You could have him holding things.
That's what we're going to have. We're going to have him holding this card.
Oh, he's going to do his Shakespeare thing.
He is.
Holding
I'm
the skeleton.
Yeah. I've probably got 2 right hands here. No. It's that way, isn't it? If you had your hand up. Oh, well, it's going that way anyway. Because I don't know which way round I am. Oh, dear. It's too early, isn't it? So I'm going to have him holding
Is it Hamlet where he's got the skull?
Yes.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Alas, poor Yorick or something, isn't
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
Before I thought I knew him, but I didn't. That one. And I'm going to pop that on. I'm going to pop a little foam pad on that, just to do. There we go. That's a modern take on Shakespeare.
You've got to give the skeleton a name as well when you get him home.
There we go. And then I'm going to
Or
pop
be
on.
a she.
Could be. It's hard to tell. Although I have some point coming in. It's that you can tell because of the hip bones. I wouldn't
Maybe.
know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift his hand up a tiny bit there. If I can get underneath there. There we go. Lift his fingers up. That's what I was trying to do. And then we can have him holding that sign like that because it's heavy.
That's brilliant.
And there you go. So you've got a sort of, I'm going to turn it round. It should all hang on there.
Oh, I tell you what, if you buy no other die other than this today, you'll love it.
It's just cute, isn't it?
It's fun. It
Got there
really
in
is
the
fun. £5.48, and the fact he's holding his own head is even more comical.
Definitely Sleepy Hollow, isn't it?
Brilliant. £5.48, you're going to get the hat, so he could wear his own hat. You can have the pumpkin as the head if you want to, which is what Mandy did. And he's also got a little dicky bow tie if you want to dress him up too. But the thing is, I thought when I first saw that die, he was going to come out as one skeleton, the whole thing. Not in parts, but because it's in parts, that's what makes it comical, because you can have him waving, dancing, doing the splits, whatever you fancy doing as well. And that is part of the big bundle that we got for you on offer today, but you can buy it as an individual, okay? Now, if you want the big bundle, you're going to get your skeleton, maybe Sydney the skeleton. You're going to get your coffin. You're going to get your gravestone as well with RIP on it, and the ravens and the small skeleton as well. And you're also going to get the big skull, which is lovely. And again, it's not morbid. I mean, I looked at that earlier on, just thought Day of the Dead, which is that celebration of life, that celebration and that festival that they have in Mexico every year. I don't think it's just in Mexico now. I think it's kind of global now. But you've got the potential to decorate this really beautifully. You've got a little heart for the nose. You could put maybe gemstones for the eyes if you want to. You could paper piece it if you've got the time and inclination to do that. But it's lovely. I mean, for the whole lot, £16.49 is brilliant value. It works out to just over £4 per die set. And that's my favourite, absolutely. MEPQ 95, MEPQ 95, okay? Now, the Spells and Cauldron bundle, now there's 2 sets in this bundle. So what you've got here is the pot, the cauldron, in other words. You've got the smoke that comes out of the cauldron as well, which you can use in all sorts of ways, not just with the cauldron. And you've put a spell on me as 2 separate dies for those words. And then you've also got your Book of Magic spells. You've got your flourishes when the spell's created. And then you've got your wand there as well. But I mean, to be honest with you, this doesn't need to be a book of spells. It could be a recipe book. It could be anything. It could be anything at all. And the flourishes can be used in all sorts of ways. So you're not limiting to how you use these throughout the year. You can use them in all sorts of ways. I mean, that cauldron, for example, could have flowers coming out of it in spring and summer. So, you know, you can use it in lots of ways. £9.47 for both of these, under a £5 each, which is pretty amazing. DPPQ73 is the product code if you fancy those today. If you go for both of the bundles, the one that's got the skeleton in it and the coffin and everything, that would be just under £27 for all of them. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 6 die sets for just over £27, which is amazing. DPPQ73. Now, the word dies that we started the show with back at 6 o'clock, a long, long time ago this morning. Now, these are just really useful words to have. This is happy haunting. So happy haunting, you've got, there we go, look, you've got fantastic, happy haunting, have a spooktacular Halloween, and they're all separate words. So if you just wanted spooktacular on the top of the card, nothing else, you can do that if you want to. £3.99 for 5 dies. 5 dies, no, 6 dies, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 6 dies for £3.99. That's virtually, it's about 70p a die, which is pretty amazing. Wow. So that is our happy haunting, if you fancy that one. CUPQ08, CUPQ08. And then the other one, which is all words, is the All Hallows Eve as well, which I didn't realise All Hallows Eve was a thing. I mean, Christmas Eve, yes, Christmas Day.
I didn't think it, but in some places it is, isn't it? In the Druid community, it's a Druid thing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
All Hallows Eve, you've got the word spooky, October the 31st. Then you've also got Hocus Pocus, RIP, and Trick or Treat as well. So, you know, if you are going to go out with the kids trick or treating or whatever, or you're going to let them do it, this is great to obviously put maybe on their bags or their baskets or their buckets, whatever they're taking to collect their sweets. £4.49. And this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's actually 11 dies in there. 11 dies for £4.49 because they're all separate words. AGPQ83 is your product code. Now, we've got about 10 minutes, Mandy.
Yeah, get another one
Time
in.
for another demo, is that all right?
I think we use the Sassy Witch. Linda the Sassy Witch.
Let's do the Sassy Witch.
Right, so what I'm going to do, we're just going to do a basic, simple stepper card, okay?
Okay.
So my stepper card is, I've got an A4 piece of card. I've scored it halfway line, okay? And then I've literally just measured in 1.5 inches and another 1.5, so 3 inches, 1.5 and 3 from each end. It's easier for me to do it that way, okay? And then I've come across then, I think for my card, because you choose the size you want, I've come across, I think it's 2.5 inches. And what I've done is then, where I've scored the lines, I then cut between the top score line and the bottom score line.
Okay.
And that then gives us our sort of a pocket there, sort of thing.
Yep.
And all you're going to do then is you're going to score it on the line. So you've got a mountain, valley, and a mountain. So
Right.
nice and simple, okay? So, but first of all, we need a background.
Yep.
Right, really quickly. So again, I got the oxides out, as you do. So I'm working with squeezed lemonade, carved pumpkin, and I have distress ink then in a wilted violet.
Okay.
Because I think these colours work beautifully
They
together.
are a great trio of
They
colours.
are
They
lovely
really
colours,
are.
they really are. So I'm going to start off with my carved pumpkin. Okay, and I'm just going to add some colour onto the cardstock.
This
Again,
is the oxide again, yeah?
this is the oxide, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the thing I love about the oxides is because they're so creamy, they're so soft, I find if you ever have problems blending, then the oxides are the ones to go for. They
Yeah,
really
totally.
are. They're
And of course,
so
those
easy.
blending brushes that you're using, you'll find those on our website as well. We had some of those from Creative Expressions yesterday. Did Personal Impressions do those brushes?
I'm not sure. I have to check the website.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. But we do the little blending tools, so they're great as well. So
Okay.
it depends what you want to use, really. Okay. So there you go. So we've got our first colour going on here. Okay. Then I'm going to pop on some of the squeezed lemonade. Yep. Oops, I've got black fingers. So I do have a finished one as well. So then we're going to add in your colour here. Okay. So again, I'm going to speed up on here for you. There you go. So we're just blending all that colour across. And I'm sort of going diagonal on this one because I like the look of it. Okay, so you're going to go on with those. Then the wilted violet. And I'm using actually a foam pad for this one. Okay, again, I like to come, when I'm working with dark colours, I always come up from the bottom. And look at this colour with these. Isn't that a glorious colour? It's absolutely fabulous. It's vibrant. I love the wilted violet. And when you build up your layers, it becomes a really beautiful, beautiful dark colour, dark rich colour. And again, in between shades, I'm going to get the right brush, I'm going to blend in.
It's like it's going from daytime into night, isn't it?
Exactly. And then we do, once you've got it saturated with colour, you're going to take some water, yeah? And I like to blob it out of my hand, but I'll just use a spray for now, okay? So I'm just going to do that, and if you want bigger blobs, what I do is I put it in my hand and I flick it.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to do, put it in my hand and flick it. And then what you do is then you get a piece of cloth, you can see all my black marks there, and where you put the water, you just go to dab it off, and you get all these lovely watermarks on it, can you see? Okay. But here's one I've already done.
It's like you're in outer space, isn't it?
It is, it's lovely though, isn't it? It's really quick and easy, but this is the finished effect. So I've just done all the water ready. Okay. So on here now, I did another piece. You can see I did another strip and I've just cut it up to fill in all the steps on there. But you can see how it's all the same colours and the gradients
looks
there.
amazing, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to pop this on the front. Now my card is slightly taller than my stepper card because of the side of the piece I decided to make, okay? So I'm just going to pop some glue on here. So glue or tape, whatever you want. So we're going to add that on to the front. Yep. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to use that because I've got dirty fingers. Okay, onto there. There you go. But look at that background now, isn't it lovely? So I'm just going to pop that down.
I'll tell you what, if that doesn't make you want to buy some oxide inks, I don't know what does.
Then very quickly then, I've got my snarky cat. Can you see I've popped him into the cauldron? Because you'll see why now when I see it. So I've got a lovely little thing there. I've popped him into the cauldron. Okay. So I've got I'm just going to give him a little bit of colour. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't put enough colour down.
Now, the Snarky Cat is part of the Tim Holtz rubber stamp collection that we've got for you, down from £30 odd to just over 20.
That's better. I couldn't see where I put my water. So I'm giving him a really quick colour. You'd spend a little bit more time giving him some colour. Okay, we just got some colour on our cat.
He's a great character, isn't
On our
he?
kitty, yeah, and he's good, isn't he? Now my cauldron there is beautiful, and I've kept all the detail in this, so I've actually stuck this onto a piece of black card, so that I kept all the bits in. Because I didn't want to have it, I wanted it as a solid shape, more like a silhouette. I've got a little bit of silver wax here now, because I just want to add a little bit to my cauldron, just to give that little feel of being a metallic cauldron. There you go. Okay, so we've got a little bit of wax on there. Excuse me, I've got a runny nose. Not that you need to know that bit.
It's because it's getting cold outside.
You've got the cat in here as well. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab, I was going to grab my foam pads, but I can't find them, so I'm going to glue this on instead. Oh no, here we have. A lot quicker with foam pads. So I'm popping that on there. Thank you. I'm popping that just there to hold it in position. Okay. And we're going to start building our scene up here. Okay. So I'm going to put her down lightly. So I've got my witch there. I'm not pressing her down yet. Just giving that a little bit of a shape.
I think she's the funkiest witch I've ever seen, actually.
That's why my nose is twitching then.
Yeah, that takes me back.
Just mentioned
Bewitched.
Bewitched, yeah. So my nose is twitching for some reason. But you haven't changed into a frog yet, so you're safe, Dave. So
Well,
I've got my little...
That going through my head now, that Bewitched theme tune.
So I've got my little cauldron there. Bring him down a little bit. So I'm happy with him there. Put her there. Okay. Then I've got my little cat that I can pop here. You're not going to see it much, but it's going to be there. Okay. So I'm popping my little cat on here. There you go. It's lovely, isn't it? And then I've got a little bit of a head going on here. Oops, I'm trying to get a foam pad off. There we go. And I've got a little skull again, so I'm using him just as a little bit of a decoration in the corner. I've got, here's the thing, I have stamped out Happy Halloween, okay?
Yeah.
And we've stamped out the cat staying here, and it says, I meant to behave, but there were too many other options.
Yeah.
And that is why he has ended up in that cooking pot, okay? So I'm just popping on the Happy Halloween. So I'll pop that one there. And then we'll just pop this on here. There you go. There we go. And then you can add on all the extra little bats I've got there and all sorts to whatever you want it to be. And that is my too many other options. And then I could add on, again, those lovely little bats from that die set as well.
Mandy, that's brilliant.
There.
Brilliant demos as
There you
ever. We're back together at 4 o'clock, aren't we, this afternoon?
We are,
With more from this collection. Remember, you can order in between shows if you want to. We're going to hand over to Sewing Street and Jewellery Maker fairly soon, depending on what platform you're watching us on. And we'll be back live at 1 o'clock this afternoon with more on Hobbymaker this afternoon, including that brilliant Collop E-Mark printer is going to be on this afternoon as well. Watch out for that. I've just seen some finished cards that I've forgotten to show you. So let's just have a look at Snarky Cat for the last few seconds. Yeah. Aren't they brilliant? And remember, those verses and those stamps that are from Tim Holtz are just brilliant. What does that one say? People think I'm shy, but I really just have no interest.
I thank the lovely Lou Sims for doing them for me. She sent them in specially.
I know the voices aren't real,
Amazing.
but they have some great ideas. Another one.
That's more like mine.
And then this one says, if I play dead, will you go away? They're great, aren't they? Well, all of the Sweet Dixie dies are on the website. We've got the Tim Holtz stamps. We've got the archival links. We've got, of course, glossy accents on the website as well, all brought to you by Personal Impressions. So it's a great brand shop to have a browse if you'd like to go onto our website and have a little look. Hobbymaker.co.uk. Just click on Personal Impressions. See you later. Have a nice breakfast. We'll see you a bit later on from 1 o'clock this afternoon on Hobbymaker. Stay tuned, though.